Welcome to Functionally Speaking, the podcast where two clinicians share one brain cell and way too many opinions.
I'm Laura, your mineral-obsessed dietitian who gets fired up about gut health, metabolism, and fertility, with enough sass to keep it interesting and enough nuance to keep it real.
And I'm Danielle, a physician assistant obsessed with gut health, hormones, and calling out bullshit.
We're here for the nuance, the hot takes, the facts your certification skipped over, and the occasional spiral into chaos.
If you're a health coach, practitioner, or clinician who's slightly functional, just like our mitochondria in our recording process, you're in the right place.
We're not here to sugarcoat the science or pretend there's one right way to do this work. We're doing it our way, unfiltered, slightly feral, and always with love for the humans we serve. Let's get into it.
Welcome back to Functionally Speaking, the clinical pod that spirals responsibly, clearly, as we have a janky intro.
Can't take anything seriously.
Nope, nothing, not a single thing. Functionally Speaking, sponsored by us, Unconventional Collaborative. I don't want to say unconventionalcollaborative.com, but we are a virtual interdisciplinary mastermind for coaches, practitioners, and trainers. If you are looking for a space where community meets education, we are it. Go to unconventionalcollaborative.com or visit the link in the show notes and get in there now. So I've been very passionate about this topic recently because I just feel like we're seeing a lot of it. The disordered behavior that's rebranded as wellness. I feel like since the low-rise jeans came back, we're now seeing like a thigh gap make a resurgence.
Yeah, skinny talk is on the rise. Heroin chic is back.
It is. And I just am hearing more of my clients and other people's clients talking about clean eating and detoxes and Ozempic.
Or like just, showing up for yourself, aka you slept 2 hours and you're working out.
Oh God.
Because you promised yourself. Like
hashtag stay hard, David Goggins. We're like, okay.
I saw someone make a joke about that the other day, and I wish I could remember because it's so spot on. But anyway,
the David Goggins, listen, I don't know the guy, like no shade.
I don't either.
Homie.
But
homie,
someone made that comment, and I died. Like I wasn't ready for it.
Hashtag stay hard. So we're seeing a resurgence of this, and I find that sometimes the most problematic, and by problematic I mean symptomatic humans, that's probably a better word, are those who are hashtag clean eating. Let's start off with clean eating, because this one, when people say it, it just grinds my gears.
I think, I feel like I need to preface
and I know
this
what people mean.
I have a cookbook that has that title. I didn't pick that title, and it has nothing to do with it. But I think this borders on orthorexia. Orthorexia is the whole like disordered eating disorder spectrum of, worrying about and healthifying your food, right? And I think that people think, I think people operate out of fear, right? A lot of the time. And I think this is one of those things of like people literally want to be so healthy, whether it's body related, right? They want to be a certain physique, or they have people in their lives who, I don't know, have cancer, heart disease, whatever. And I think a lot of it's driven by fear, but they feel that if they say, oh, I'm clean eating, or I'm eating healthy, or whatever the tag is, right? Then it's not an eating disorder. It's kind of like we've had this discussion, I think, together, and then also in the collaborative of like people who just, they say they're vegan, and they'll say they're vegan for moral reason, but it's a way to restrict food in a like morally acceptable or a like societally acceptable
nobody can
way.
Push me on this because I love animals.
Correct.
Listen,
and I think clean eating
too.
kind of falls into that, right? Of like, who's gonna say that I have an eating disorder because I'm eating clean? I'm worried about my health. I'm doing this for what, like, because I'm worried. My mom had X, Y, and Z, and there's just a slippery slope. Obviously, the two of us are supportive of people prioritizing their health and eating good quality food to support health and well-being, but there's just a line where it becomes just like they can't even. To me, it
becomes I was just gonna go there. Of like, I'm thinking like, I really like salt and vinegar chips, and so like for me, I still want to have that from time to time. And I feel like a lot of these people who are focused in on clean eating, there is no nuance, and it is so black and white, and then they end up binging. And I also think the clean eating, it leads to these orthorexic tendencies where then people they're eating more ingredients than they are real food. like the Maple Grove products, the oil sprays,
What is Maple Grove?
you don't know the Maple Grove line? Girl, I mean, I macroed so hard. It's like the sugar-free syrup and the sugar-free this and the sugar-free,
No.
it's the macro-friendly line. Yeah, look it up.
Oh, this is
So,
new to me.
oh
Fun.
my God,
I will do nothing but look it up and not actually eat it.
yeah, disgusting. But you know what? It's so much better for someone to just eat actual real maple syrup instead of something that has like 52 ingredients in it. And probably, the real maple syrup, guess what? Tastes better. And this is the same
Oh,
thing
it
with like
tastes so
Halo
good.
Top and regular ice cream, right?
Oh
And
god.
whenever I post about this, I always get one person who's like, I just like Halo Top. Get out of here. No, you don't.
If you've had real ice cream, no, you don't.
No, girl. No,
No, you
girl.
don't.
So
No.
I feel
Give
like
me a
we could
Ben and
stay on.
Jerry's.
I'm not a big ice cream girly. I would rather have the salt and vinegar chippies. Like I'm kind of craving some now. I mean, we were talking. I've kind of had like a little bit of stress recently, and so I'm like, oh, I could use some salt and vinegar chippies. Maybe after we're done recording, I'll go get myself some. And like, there's nothing wrong with that. But like, I feel like these clean eating people, like the guy with their shirt off in the grocery aisle. Can we ban them
God, the
from
jambronis
everything?
in the grocery store. Like
Go away.
I just want to come up on one of them once.
Me
Just while
too.
I'm shopping. Like I
I
just
will
want to be
maul
there.
them like a bear.
I just want to like make some weird comments and like see how they respond.
Yeah.
God, I'd love to
So,
play with them.
oh, I know.
Mess
I
with their head a
know.
little bit. But
I
yeah,
th-
I mean, that's also so sad to me. I mean, you look at what Bobby's last name,
Oh,
and he like
his Flave
roped his
City. Is he Flave
yeah he like
City?
yes
Eh.
and he roped his kid into it, and
Oh,
like his
she's
kid
gonna
is
have a
literally
problem.
reading ingredients,
Yeah.
and it's like this is Bobby approved. Also, why did it come to be that Bobby approved is a way to look at ingredients? Not to
What
mention
education does Bobby have?
he doesn't, and
Him
I'm
and
like
Max Lugavere with their
it's
zero
like
education in
it's because
nutrition. None.
they're white men who are confident, God forbid. But yeah, it's like, oh my God, that poor child won. But yes, like
Yes.
there's no context. It's just like this ingredient is good, this ingredient is bad. I say this is good, I say this is bad.
I
And
know.
there becomes just a list of rules as opposed to understanding nutrition. Like I was just talking to a client this morning and I offboarded her today and she was like, it's so nice that like I was able to like work on my health and feel better. She's like, but I feel so much like more prepared and I understand nutrition now. And I'm like, yeah, that's the whole point. Like it's
Yeah.
not supposed to be scary. It's not supposed to be black or white. It's not supposed to be so rigid that you can't go out to eat or try a new food. Certainly, obviously, if there's food allergies or issues, like right, but that's not the case for most people.
Don't go get anaphylaxis. We're not
Yeah.
endorsing it. We're not endorsing
No.
anaphylaxis here at Functionally Speaking.
No.
I just think, and to your point earlier, when you kind of started to go into this with like the vegan and vegetarian types, where I feel like there is also this like, I don't tolerate these foods too. So that like, oh, if I don't tolerate them, no one can question why I can't eat them. And I'm going to pick on people. I feel like this is so common in the endurance space of like, oh, potatoes feel so heavy on my belly or rice feels so heavy. No, that means you're full, girl. And like they're doing all this running and they don't want to eat these. It's always like it's never meat or yogurt that these people have problems with, right? It's rice and like white rice and sweet potatoes and really easily digestible carbohydrates that 99% of people don't have a problem with, right? Like I've never met someone who actually had a problem with white rice, okay? And I feel like that is just such a mask for, oh, this allows me to restrict because if it hurts my gut, people can't call me on it. And I feel like that is really, really problematic. And I feel as a clinician, it's so important to be able to spot these things that are really disordered behavior that are rebranded as wellness, right? So the long-term elimination diets, I would also put into this same category of, you have all of this long-term gut. And listen, I understand that some people, there's endo and there's like all these things and they're probably undiagnosed and they're trying anything possible to feel better. I would say that's a small population if we're doing these things over a year. Like, even
Well, I
6
also
months.
think this is like this toes the line of like patient versus clinician, right? Is like a good clinician knows this and knows that long-term restriction is not helpful and should be who the patient is going to. The
Right.
problem is that patient or client, whatever you want to call them, or person is going to the internet, or they're going to Reddit or podcasts or their running group or whoever, and they're picking up these pieces, and there's more fear created, right? And there's more restriction created. And they might be with maybe, say maybe a coach or a trainer who's not necessarily a practitioner, not someone who works with this stuff, might help to like continue that belief or that thought. And that's where the clinician comes in to help this person. I mean, like, your number one goal is to help this. Well, there's a lot of goals depending on what practitioner you are, but one of the major goals, like especially as a dietitian, is to expand diet to as many foods as humanly possible for this human being, because it's going to diversify their diet and help with whatever symptoms they're having. And a lot of times it's rooted in fear, because the one time they went on a run and they ate rice and they got diarrhea, and it's like, that wasn't it. And it becomes a form of control, right? It's no longer, sometimes it's not even like, it's subconscious. They don't even know that they're doing it, and they're trying to control. And whether that control is digestion, right? Because sometimes that is a true concern, or it's body image, like they're trying to hold on to a certain body feel. Yeah, there's a slippery slope for all of this. And that's where the clinician comes in to recognize, right? Like, read between the lines with what your client is saying. If your client is saying, I can't tolerate all these foods, we have to really dig in and ask why. And I also do the same when they eat a certain way, like, are you open to different ways of eating if it would make you feel better? How has this diet made you feel over the years, right? Like, being really gentle and safe and approachable, while also recognizing that, like, a lot of these ways of eating, whether it's restriction or long-term elimination diets or certain diets like veganism or clean eating or whatever you want to call it, are just a form of control.
100%.
And oftentimes they come to us feeling awful. So you have to then connect the dots for them without so much as saying, like, you shouldn't be on a vegan diet, right? Like, because saying that is when they're going to put their defenses up and be like, nope, don't trust you. So you have to start educating them of like, okay, let's do the things that are vegan that help you feel better. And then when you start trusting me, you'll start trusting that I have your best interest in mind, because I want you to feel better.
Yeah, I mean, I obviously agree with all of that. And it is like really multifactorial, so I do feel like it is important to explore. But I think we're both trying to say the same thing with, when you have that person, it's really important. These disorder behaviors rebranded as wellness are really rampant, and it's really easy to miss if you're not looking for it. One of the things that I know you and I feel, I don't know, I might feel more strongly about this than you do, but it's the hypertracking behavior with like food and steps and your body weight. I feel so strongly about that. If you were going to use macros as a tool, like, you don't need it longer than 6 months. If you need it longer than 6 months, you did not work with someone who understands how to teach you how to eat in a way that is sustainable for the rest of your life. And you need to find somebody different to help teach you, right? But I see a lot of these nutrition coaches, and even, I don't even know if there's like dietitians out there, but other like healthcare practitioners who they're like, I vlogged for 17,000 days straight in Chronometer. And it's just like, I'm on a 500-day streak in MyFitnessPal. And that's
I'm
a
exhausted
huge red.
just thinking about that.
Oh, girl, same. I check in every I'll check in every quarter to make sure I'm like hitting, because I really go towards fats because I eat mostly whole natural foods. So when you do that, it's really easy to like get behind on carbohydrate intake. So I will check a couple times a year, like, okay, where am I at? What am I doing?
As a practitioner, like, I teach my
tool.
clients this all the time. It's literally a tool. It's a hammer for a nail. It's not a paintbrush for painting. Like, and if you're constantly trying to do it, the thing is as clinicians, we should always be asking why. Why do you feel like you need this? And a lot of times my clients say, well, because that's the only way that I can maintain my weight. And I say, why? And like, because this is what's worked for me. And I just literally keep asking why, and they get uncomfortable, but I'm like,
I know,
it's because you don't trust yourself. It's because you have lived in a society that tells you that you cannot trust yourself to feed yourself. But I promise you, if you have the right tools and understand, you can. And just like Danielle was talking about, it's literally a tool.
Yeah.
You can always go back to it and just do a check-in and say, okay, I kind of know what 4 ounces of chicken looks like, but like, am I eating enough protein throughout the day? Okay. Yeah, I am, or no, I'm not, or carbs, whatever. And it's just sad because I think there's a standard in fitness culture and wellness culture that tracking macros is how you maintain your health. And it's not stressful because if you do it every day, it's not stressful. Yeah, yes, it is. Like, constantly thinking about your food it's stressful and it's so unnecessary and just creates this like unnecessary stress around food when that's like not the point like at all.
Yeah. Yeah. I could not agree more. And I think,
And also one more thing is that like if you need to track in order to maintain your body weight, my guess is that's not your body weight that you're most comfortable at.
I was just gonna, so that's the direction that I was gonna go is I think that that's also a red flag for disordered behavior when your client says, well, that's the only way I can eat enough. Is it, or is that the acceptable thing that you can say that no one's going to question you? And so you can stay in your comfortable, disordered, controllable behavior. Seriously. I mean, that is such, when I get somebody and I, and some people like it is really innocent. I've worked with people where I'm like, hey, can you tell me about your food tracking behavior? Like, how long have you been doing this? Like, how's it serving you? Like, what's the goal with this? Right. I think that's also a really important question. But when I hear someone say it's the only way I can eat enough, there are other problems going on there that I probably need to send them to a dietitian for as well. There are some things that I can help with there, but they need intensive work with food and hunger signals and actually like honoring hunger signals, right? Like so many women, they're like, what do I do when I'm hungry? Open mouth, insert food. I don't, yeah, like I don't, like I'm hungry right now and I'm thinking about salt and vinegar chips. So that's where I am.
So sad is that I feel like we were like on the tip of it getting better.
I know.
And then we spiraled again.
Ozempic and low-rise jeans.
Ozempic. Oh, not to mention, oh my God, I feel like we already ranted about this once, but the fact that now there's so many like trainers and wellness influencers who now like have codes for Ozempic and GLP-1s. And like a lot of them didn't come out right and say that they were doing it for a while.
It's gross.
And that, like, what the hell?
So fucking gross.
Yeah, once again, that transparent, we talked about this last episode, but like transparency, especially in the wellness and fitness space, like needs to be a standard of like, I don't necessarily care that you're doing a GLP-1. I care that you're either hiding it and telling people that like, do what I do and you'll look like me, or you're now selling and promoting it when you're not really qualified to be doing so. You're just working under a company that now pays you to do so. Like, I just feel like there's so many ethical issues there beyond like,
yeah, I do too.
And once again, I think we've done 2 episodes now on GLP-1s. If you want our opinions on all that, please go back and listen to it. But like, I just think that we are using GLP-1s to achieve body sizes and shapes that aren't necessary for health. In some instances, yes. And go back and listen. Like, you can listen to us. Like, we don't not agree that they are helping health in certain ways, but we also want to stand in this wellness and fitness space where people went from being like okay with a little extra body fat and being healthy to all of a sudden now it's like everyone needs to be skinny. I feel like whiplash. Like, what the hell? I literally feel like my clients were like seeing more body positivity and seeing like more normal bodies, and it just like went away in a flash.
It did. Your low-rise jeans, I'm telling you.
And I had a client yesterday who said she was like, and her body size is completely normal. She feels amazing. And she's like, how do I not give in to GLP-1s? And I'm like, well, what do you mean? And she's like, they're everywhere. They're on my feed. They're in my work. They're in my family, my friends. And I'm like, yeah, like that is really hard. And so we just sat there and talked about how, who am I to tell you what to do with your body? And also it is really hard. It's really hard to be surrounded by people saying that like they need to lose weight or everyone should lose weight. Everyone should be honest. Everyone needs this. It's hard to be around that and to say this isn't for me. So it's also acknowledging that for your clients of like, yeah, it is really hard and it really sucks right now.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think another component of the same like tracking, this is something you and I have talked a lot about because I'm seeing a lot of people of the steps and getting their steps in and it's 9:00 at night and I've had a really insane day, but I'm showing up for myself is the new way to like stay in your disorder. I have said this multiple times and it's like, no one's going to die if you go to bed with 4,000 steps. No one.
And I just think it comes down to like, 1, looking at what season you're in, right? Like season of life matters. And 2, like sometimes with macros and with these step counts, people are so micro focused on the day. Like, what about the week? What about the month? Yeah. Like, look at your lifestyle. And if you're
consistent, it's a drop in the water.
Correct.
This is what I really try to tell my clients. Like, listen, when you build that consistency and you have that one-off week out of 50 or out of 30,
or date, like random days.
Like it does. People get sick. Like you travel. Like things happen. It's not a big deal if you're consistent. Like, yeah, okay. And listen, I get it. Maybe there is that person who they have never kept an account. They've never been a good accountability to themselves. And they said for 30 days, they're going to hit 8,000 steps. And maybe short term, I can see the benefit of that. But when you've been tracking your steps for 10 years and you're on your treadmill at 9 o'clock at night or walking back and forth in your house to get your steps in before you go to bed, but you're dumb.
Wait, can I tell a story
dead
about
ass
that?
tired.
I know someone
Yeah.
who literally broke her foot from doing it because she was walking back and forth in her house and tripped over something. Yep, not a friend. Like it's like someone of someone else. So like I feel like it might be tracked back. Who knows? But literally someone broke their foot from doing that because like literally.
Did they learn?
I have no idea. I should check. I'm gonna ask my friend. But yeah, it's like this obsession. And once again, if you're building movement in your daily life, like you always walk your dog, or you got a walking pad, or you try to go out after lunch, or you try to go out with your partner after work, those are the habits you should be building. And if you notice that, okay, I'm still only getting 3,000 to 4,000 steps, yeah, okay, that's a lifestyle change that needs to happen. But if you're someone who averages 10 to 12,000 steps and you have a 4,000 step day, literally move on with your life. Go to bed. You're going to be okay. It is not the end of the world. And like, this is where these trackers, like, I agree. I think there's some people who need that accountability and it keeps them from being 2,000 steps versus 7,000 steps, which is a huge difference. We know that like longevity wise, that matters. But so many people look at their trackers and like, they live and die by it. And it's like, if you can't go, like, I know people who like literally can't go a day. They're like, oh, my workout didn't count. My steps don't count. And I'm like, your body doesn't know the difference.
No, it's fine. I promise you'll live. And yeah, it's those long-term people. Cause I do think there is, the person who's like, I've never gone, I'm new to health and fitness. And I made, I'm going to like be a hypocrite and say like, I made a promise to myself. Maybe it is worth it for them that one time in that 30 days to spend that extra 20 minutes at night to build that habit. But if you're doing that years and years on end, like you're missing the forest for the trees, you're stepping over dollar bills to pick up pennies. Like it really gives me the ick when I see it.
Not to mention like, if you're someone who consistently shows up in those ways for yourself and has like habits built in and you have a low step day, my guess is there was a reason for that.
Probably needed it.
Right. Or like, you were sick or you had a kid sick or your kids were bothering you or you had work meetings that you like were really important, right? You couldn't just go out for a walk that day. Like my guess is there was a really good reason for it. So like, let that be the reason for it. Like just let it happen. Like it's just crazy to me.
I mean, it happens with me every once in a while where like it's 6 o'clock and it's time for me to eat dinner and the dogs and it's getting dark early right now. And I just don't love to walk in the dark. It's not happening. Every once in a while after dinner, sometimes for like 10 or 15 minutes, I'll watch a podcast and get on my walking pad just like after meal. But like there is no 8, 9, 10 o'clock going out or panicking. It's just, those days happen where like I had 2 back-to-back podcasts and 3 clients and I'm fried. And you know what? I just want to sit on the couch. And sometimes that is okay. And I just think that, we're missing the forest for the trees with that.
I think other things that you have like detoxes written down. I think that we've talked about this on our like parasite episode, but I think these detoxes and parasite cleanses and whatever are also really big in the wellness space. And I think there is some normalizing of it as opposed to normalizing how are you actually supporting your gut health? How are you supporting your detox pathways, which we know is sweat, urine, poop, like breathing, respiratory, like those are the things we need to support. We don't need to be jumping on detoxes and parasite cleanses, which are just going to deplete us further. And I think, unfortunately, when you get on the wrong side of the internet, it becomes like scary. And like they normalize it as if like you need to be doing a detox monthly, you need to be doing a parasite cleanse monthly. And it's like, whoa, like that's not actually wellness. That also is very disordered to me as well, because these people then who are already depleted, who already likely don't feel great, are now just more depleted and feeling worse.
Yep. No, I totally agree. And I see people who want to, I remember, I had this one client a while back and she just kept like searching for that root cause and it was really nervous system driven, but she kept wanting to do these parasite cleanses. And I'm like, listen, like this sounds really woo woo, but I can feel when someone is stressed I can feel like the speed with which they talk, the way that they talk about things, like
vibrating.
I'm a mental health professional for fuck's sake. Like, like I can just feel that. And I'm like, listen, I really think we need to consider therapy. Like, I'm not against these tools, and it was just like, it was a lost conversation.
Well, I feel like the problem with the
And
internet is that you can find anything you want. So I think a lot of these people who
totally.
are stuck on and they want to be told
Mm.
something's wrong with them because that feels more fixable than being told to slow down. And so then they go
Yeah.
down this whole rabbit hole. Well, they're telling me that I could do a parasite cleanse every week, right? I just have all these parasites. And it's like, okay, but the
Yeah.
question shouldn't be like, we know that parasites exist. The question is
Exist.
why did your body keep having them, right? That's the big red flag. It's not that you have them. It's like, why are
Yeah.
you not getting rid of them? But it's sad because I think this comes back to like, what do you tell your clients, right? Like, we need to be very cautious about who they're following, right? And like, not being on Facebook, not being on Reddit feeds, and like really being conscious of who they're following, because I think it's a really easy slope to fall down. And you had mentioned like endurance athletes. I think it's also the communities you're a part of and what they normalize.
Yeah.
And it's scary.
Yeah, I co-sign on all of that. And I would say like looking for credentials from the health people that you follow, that doesn't always mean that people aren't selling you snake oil, but I think that it can weed out, 20 to 50% of the bullshit that might be coming through your feed. If you're like, wow, I can't find any credentials for this person, like ask them. I think that is totally a reasonable thing to do. And just like the last point that I wanted to hit on for like these disordered behaviors rebranded as wellness is people who can't skip workouts. I know we're coming up on time here, but I feel like this is like when people have a mental meltdown because they miss their workout and they don't have any other coping strategies. Like, if people are really having strong feelings and emotions around missing a workout, and there's someone, and it's never the people who are trying to build it as a habit, right? These are people who are running 50 miles a week, they're crossfitting 5 days a week, they're lifting 5 days a week, and they've been doing it for 5, 10, 15, 20, 30 years. It's like, why are we, if we are so consistent and this is a habit and we have our health and everything is going well and we're really in it for longevity and health span, like, this is not a big deal. And if someone's reaction is out of proportion to the extreme of the event that's actually happening, you really need to check with your client on that. And I think this is one that is really, really overlooked by clinicians. And that is one thing that I check on my intake form is I make people write out, what do you do Monday, Wednesday, Tuesday, like with their movement? How intense is it? What is the workout that you're doing? And that might seem extreme to some people, but that's how I figure out that people are only taking one rest day or no rest days or, whatever. And I ask about, their biofeedback. I hate that word, but just about like HRV and resting heart rate and how many steps do you get a day if you know that. And I always say, like, if you don't know, no big deal, right? But if you have the data, please share it with me.
Oh, and the ones
and
who
so
know,
I
know.
think that is, oh girl, do they ever? Do they ever? So, all right. Well, since we're coming up on time here, I wanted to sneak that in the last like minute and a half. But if you aren't already following us on Instagram, check us out on Instagram. Check out unconventionalcollaborative.com or click the link in the show notes if you're looking to join the community, and we will see you later.